Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video from Eddie's World of Figures. Today, I'm going to be reviewing Yusuke from Yu Yu Hakusho. This is one of my childhood animes I watched growing up when I was a kid. Very happy to have this guy in this figure form from SS Figuarts. I'm very glad they actually did this guy. There have been many figures over the years, but I wouldn't say they didn't do it justice. Back then, kind of had to take what you can get back then. Figures and stuff like that weren't really as elaborate as they were, and if you found one, you paid a pretty big penny for it. But anyhow, it's enough of that. Let's get on with this review. All right, starting out, let's go with the box. As you'll see from your typical SS Figuarts from, let's say, like the Dragon Ball line that I'll be reviewing, you see it has a little bit of difference here with this line. Although, you still have your typical SS Figuarts logo here. A lot of this in Japanese. Although, you still have the open window design in their boxes where you can see the figures, the figure, and the accessories that come in this box. You'll notice at the bottom that there isn't a toy animation sticker like I normally show you guys. This is Studio Parrot, and this is the animation studio that actually took care of the show back in the 90s. Some people like the studio, some don't, but oh well. I guess they did what they could back then. But you still have the design by Tamashii Nation in Japan and Bandai Spirits made in China. So this particular figure was was pretty much put together in a Chinese factory, which is good because we expect good QC with this figure. I had to fix my words there. You see how the toy animation, sorry, not toy animation, to correct myself there. This is the SS Figuarts, or Tamashii Nation's quality seal sticker. This is the newer design because this figure is a newer figure. At the right side of that, you'll have the Tamashii Nation's logo here, Bandai logo as well to the right of that. And this is letting you know this is an official figure. At the top here, you have the Bandai Namco logo as well. Over here on the left, you have pretty much the name of the figure or the character that's being represented in this figure form. In this case, Yusuke Urameshi. Let's turn the box to the left here. At the top here, you have the SS Figuarts logo. You have a really nice pose of the figure in action. And you have pretty much the name of the logo. Let's say the name. Pretty much the name of the figure again. Again, Yusuke Urameshi. What I like about this box so far is the font, coloring, stuff like that. It's not as minimalistic as the SS Figuarts Dragon Ball line is. There's a lot going on here. I like the colors. Again, the fonts. Just the way that this box design is so far. I like this. Definitely a different take than what I'm usually used to. On the back, you have, of course, some really good action poses of the figure and some good photography done with this figure. Like, this is nice. You got a picture of Yusuke doing a thumbs up. Looks like a different hairpiece. I like that. And if any of you are Yusuke, if any of you are Yu Hakusho fans, you recognize this little character and his meaning to the show and what he was during this time. Because this version of Yusuke is from the Dark Tournament saga. A lot of popular opinion, my opinion included in this too, as you might well say. I personally feel like the Dark Tournament saga was peak for Yu Hakusho. After that, I feel like the show kind of started losing the steam and just kind of. I love the show, but after that, I was like, I'm kind of tired of watching now. I don't know what's going on. But anyhow, back to the figure. Just want to throw that in a little about the show. But at the bottom here, a lot of this is Japanese. I unfortunately cannot read Japanese. I need to learn how to read Japanese. But You do have the usual import sticker, you know, the Bandai Namco, the warning, choking hazard sticker, and all that. Of course, the serial number and all that stuff on here. Turn the box to the other side here. Flip it on the side. You have again the SS Figuarts logo here, the Yusuke Urameshi logo here, and the, well, pretty much the name. Another picture of Yusuke doing his thumbs up. At the very top of the box, we have Yusuke's name again, Yusuke Urameshi, and then we have a little bit of text from SS Figuarts, pretty much stating, you know, who they are, things like that. You have a small little window up here that pretty much flows up from the main window in the front, showing you a little bit of the faces up top. That's really nice. And at the bottom, we have yet again another picture of Yusuke figure form. It says Figuarts, name of the figure, and looks like we have, well, you can scan right here this QR code and go to, looks like Bandai's website, but this is Japan. But that's pretty cool. All right, guys, that's enough of the box. Want to get through that pretty quick. Sorry for rushing, but I want to quickly get to the accessories. So let's get to that. Now that I have the clamshell out of the box, I want to go over the accessories with this guy with you. So starting off, this guy comes with 4 additional faces, 7 additional hands, including the 2 that already come on the figure. So you have 9 total. The one and only spirit gun effect here. Well, this is like the beam charge effect, like he's charging it. And look at this guy here. It's freaking, like I said, for like, look at Pooh. Like, I do want to show this a lot closer out of the clamshell because of the clear kind of mess up the shot a little bit. So I will take this out and show you guys a bit closer. I want to show the details. And you have the spirit gun actually firing off. It comes with a base and base attachment so that you can attach it to the spirit gun effect here. And also got the additional hair sculpt up here. So you get more, well, pretty much more expressions with this guy, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. So let's go on and take this out the package real quick. We'll do this together. And I want to show off Pooh. And look at this little guy. Look how cute he is. Look at Pooh. I hope we eventually get like the, and spoilers if you haven't seen the show, I hope we do get like a Pooh whenever he kind of like evolves into like his bigger self later in the show. That would be cool. I mean, if they don't, that's fine, but it would be a cool addition. But just look at this little guy and the detail they put into this figure. It's a little figurine. It doesn't move or anything like that. It's pretty much a static little figure, but still pretty cool addition that they threw in here. They didn't have to do that. You have the spirit gun effect being fired off. And what I'll do is I'll show off like how this kind of gets put together real quick. So you essentially take the base here, the little clear base. You'll stick it in the bottom here. And it's got this little ball peg up here. And you're simply going to find the hole on the effect piece like so. You guys see the hole? And you're going to ease that in. Probably see here like a little pop. I sometimes don't like messing with these effects because they can be a little tough getting in. Really don't want to put, you know what? I'll put this in a little bit later in the video. I don't want to spend too much time on this because I'll be fighting it for a little while. So I'll put that back in the box for now. Well, the package. Here is the spirit gun charge effect. And what's cool is I notice, let me take one of the hands out here. So it comes with a pointing finger. Let me get my camera to focus here. So it comes with a pointing finger. So on the effect, in order for them to get this to work, and it's kind of hard to see sometimes, even with like my naked eye, like it's hard for me to find the little tiny hole. But once you find it, let me see if I can show it in the camera here. Let's see. Right there. It's always really hard to see, but once you find it, you take Yusuke's pointing finger, pretty much his firing gun finger. Get the camera in focus here. And then there you go. Now you have Yusuke's spirit gun getting ready to get fired off. Show off his other head scope here. It looks pretty creepy without any faces on it, but it's a cool addition. Just want to show that off real quick. And I'll show you guys how these work later on in the video. One of the faces, this is kind of like his, you know what? Let me just do this. Show you guys real quick. Put this little faceplate on, so it looks better. This just show you real quick. So it has these 4 holes, and the faceplate itself has 2 pegs. And you're going to simply take it and line it up with the square peg here, and you're going to ease that on like so, like that. And the top hairpiece simply lines up with the 2 holes up top, and then there you go. And what this is supposed to represent is essentially Yusuke with poo on top, kind of just getting on his nerves and messing with him. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So you have that. Just want to show that off real quick. I know that face, I'm like, what is this? That's what it's for. I'm going to take that apart. I'm going to put the hairpiece back in the package. And we have Yusuke's yelling face sculpt. Pretty cool detail there. We have him in his, I guess we could say, angry face, or he's kind of like getting serious. Really nice how these faceplates are printed. Nice and clean. And this is a general release, by the way. This isn't like a P Bandai release or anything like that. This guy is usually, I got him for about 65 bucks retail. He's still going around that same price, especially this is around Christmas time right now. I'm recording this. So there's been some, if you look around, there'll be a certain deals around. And this particular faceplate is his neutral face right here. Pretty cool. Give you guys a better look into the package, but I'll knock it all out. But there you go. Better look inside here. Pretty cool. All right, guys. Let's get with the figure itself and show you the details with it. I got Yusuke back out here. And what I want to do, what I want to go over real quick, is the details in this guy. And from what I'm looking at so far, this guy is really nice. It's like they've taken him right out of the anime itself. I like how they've gotten the shirt design pretty much similar to how he was. I say similar, but yeah, this is pretty much dead on like how he was from the Dark Tournament saga. From the pants, like the way the sculpt is, the wrinkles, everything. I'm not seeing too much shading going on, unless my eyes are deceiving me. I don't see hardly any on here. Although, the way this guy feels, it's like he has like a bit of a matte finish to him. He's not really gloss or anything like that, even on the shirt. What I do like though is also the paint. Like even though this guy isn't a premium Bandai release, you'll see here the paint application is really clean. Let me bring him up a little closer, and you'll see the matte that I was telling you about. Like I'm not seeing any shading, but the way the sculpt is really clean. It's like I don't even feel like it needed any shading. Although if it got shading, it would have benefited very greatly. It would actually improve the figure. But it doesn't seem like it's needed. Like I said, the paint's real clean. There's no bleeding, no bubbling, Doesn't feel like the paint's going to rub away or anything like that. The matte finish is really nice. Even here in the belt, like look at that, guys. The paint is applied so well. Like it looks so clean. It looks like a separate belt piece. I like too that they've incorporated where like the little is the front of Yusuke's belt. It actually has a bit of a swivel into it, so you can kind of rotate around. You can actually rotate this in a full 360. That's pretty cool. I would be very cautious of this. Like if you overspin it or if you put too much pressure onto it, it could possibly break off. So be careful of that. The hair detail in itself, very clean, as you guys see. I like that. In my girlfriend, she was asking this question too, like, because she thought Yusuke's hair was green, and I had to point out to her in the show, the creator of the show, he liked putting highlights. Let me get this camera right here so I can show you guys. But yeah, the creator of the show loved putting highlights in the character's hair. So like Kuwabara, his hair was orange, but he had like a deeper orange highlight that was sitting like the front to kind of give it, I guess, like that shading to it or like that shadow. So Yusuke's case here, his hair is black, as you guys can see, but in the show, he always had like this green, like freaking shadow effect going on in the front of, like I say, green highlight effect going on in the front of his hair. But that's so cool that they incorporate that into the scope of this figure here. So they could have just left this whole hairpiece black and didn't do anything. I like how clean the face plate is. Like, look how clean that is. It's very nice. Because Yu Yu Hakusho has that soft, old school anime drawing to it back then. Like, there's no sharp lines or anything like that. There's a really nice curvature. Like, it's real smooth. Like, this is so good. Although mine does have like a bit of a color defect. I wonder if I can clean it off later. You guys can see there. We'll about that later. But the mouth, all this stuff is really good and clean. I like that. The feet looks like it's actually, let's see here. No, so it's I'm sorry, getting out of the camera here. So the feet, let's look at the feet real quick. So it's plastic. There's nothing really special going on, but they did paint the inside to match the ankles. So I like that touch too. Although mine does have, let's see here, the camera focus again. There we go. There is, on my copy of this figure, there's a bit of a paint mishap, like a bit of a scratch there going on feet. But other than that, the other foot looks really clean. I don't see any issues there. Even at the bottom of the pants here, I guess you can say like the I don't know what to call this. I guess the sleeve or anyhow. This is nicely painted too. All nicely painted. So detail wise, it's like they've taken this guy straight out of the anime. It's real nice. Like you can tell this is Yusuke. You can see his personality because he's. I think during the Tournament of Power, I'd say Tournament of Power. That's the wrong show. The Dark Tournament Saga of Yu Hakusho. I believe he was around 15, so he doesn't look too old. You can tell he's a teenager, like, but at the same time he was training, so they've literally sculpted the musculature in his arms. Like he's not like a noodle or anything like that. When he first started in the show, yeah, he kind of was a noodle, but he started working out, so you can see in detail like his triceps and things like that. Like he was getting in shape, so he was ready for this tournament. So just a lot of cool little details here, like even in the shoulders here, you can see it in the lighting here, how there's a little bit of muscle striation and stuff like that. But it's not overdone. Like it's done just right. I like that. Even on the side here, side of his arms. Pretty cool, guys. Pretty cool. But all right, guys. That's enough of the details and me fanboying over here. Let's get on with the articulation. All right, guys. Be right back. Okay, guys. Got Yusuke back. So in this portion of the video, we're going to be discussing the articulation of this guy and see how good he actually is for the amount of scope work that was put into this guy. So let's start out with the arms. Can he do a full T-pose? Yes, he can. Really well, actually. And without hardly any effort, actually. Can he go up further than that? He actually can. He actually can go a little bit further than like your standard T-pose. These butterfly joints here are really nice. I like how it's incorporated into the shirt itself. Let's see if he can do a full 360 with his arm. Yes, he can. And I forgot to mention, the shirt itself, at least where the butterfly joints are, a bit of soft plastic, so it's not obstructing anything with the arms. Now, the outer shirt here, like where his chest is right here, and the lower abdomen here, well, his stomach is at, it's all hard plastic. There's soft rubber, like soft plastic right here. That's what I like is it's mashing the hard plastic. That's real nice. But yeah, his arm will do a full 360 rotation. Same thing for the right arm, full 360. He can bring his arms in really nice. There's freaking butterfly joint technology that is incorporated with this figure. As you guys can see, look at that. Real nice. I can do a Kamehameha if you wanted to. Real nice. He can bring his arms out this far back, which is really good. Heck yes. Elbow, double joints, and he can bring his freaking forearm back really well. Look at that. This is the best I've seen so far in a figure from SS Figuarts. Really nice. And a lot of it's because like he doesn't have huge biceps, so his forearm can come back really well. Really good. Look at that. Same thing on the left arm. Really good. That is real good. Bring it back down. Now he also has at the top of his bicep here coming into the shoulder, they do have where it can rotate a full 360 as well. So you can get some additional range with your arm movements. Same thing on the left arm here. Real good, full 360. And one thing I'm loving about this figure too, since I'm moving them around, the joints are really smooth. Like there's no tightness, no nothing. There's no resistance. Like there's resistance, but it's good resistance. Like you don't want a figure that feels like too tight, like you want to break it, and you also don't want to feel where it's too light, where it's going to fall apart on you. This is like a really good balance between that two. So on the wrist, just like we've seen with the Dragon Ball line, he has your typical wrist joint here that has like the swivel with it, ball joint swivel, where you can rotate it in any direction you want to get that proper hand movement. Pop that on, and yes, you can do a full 360 with the fist and move it around as you so please. So it's really nice. Same thing with the left hand, or left fist here. Has the same thing. You guys see here. Nice wrist joint, and you can rotate this around, move that as you like. Real nice. And that feels good too. I've had some figures where the wrist joint just feels too tight, and if you start messing with it, it feels like it's going to snap off. No, this is well engineered. Like, this is real good. Put that back on. So for his head, let's see. You can put his head pretty much in his chest, even though he doesn't really have any chest. He's flat chested. But if he did have a chest, he can pretty much bury his face in his own chest. That neck joint is really good looking down, as you guys can see here. Looking up, Neck only goes about that far, but the head joint, and I will show that the neck joint, I'll show that too. It's actually pretty good looking up. He can bend his head up that far. Head alone can bend down that far. Now, in order for this to work, they've incorporated, and I've seen this with the like that Merkle figure over there from Figma. It has the barbell joint here. You guys can see here, which is actually works out really well. It actually has the cutout in the neck where you can have better range in the back. Looking up, has your typical ball socket here. Pretty clean. It's simple, but it works. That's what matters. Easily pop that back in. His head can rotate easily, a full 360. Again, you can look up that far with this particular joint and look down that far. It's really good. Now, for his ab crunch here, let's see. You can actually come in that far, which is actually pretty good. And he has excellent, like, been looking up. It looks awkward from here, like he's getting kicked in, but excellent range of motion when it comes to his ab crunch, which is really decent. This is really good because you don't get too much out of most figures. But also looking up, also especially with his waist joint here, that range of motion is really good. Speaking of which, on the waist, you can rotate in a full 360. Also, what I'm noticing is, although you can do that, it does tend to stretch the pants at the top because that is soft plastic. So my particular figure, I'm not going to be doing that as much just to preserve that figure, let's say figure. But pretty much the top of the pants is rigidity and its form because I don't want to mess this up. Again, the belt itself does have a bit of rotation. You can rotate this in 360, but do be very careful because it is only a very tiny swivel here. All right, on for the legs. Can he do a full splits here? Just about. Just about. Good enough for this guy, but still really good. Let's see how far he can get his leg up. Really good. You would think with them incorporating the soft plastic up here, they would have like the soft plastic um, in the crotch area. But no, this is hard plastic. It's all hard plastic right here. But the way they design the joints in the legs, really good. He can put his leg up that far. You guys can see. This is his left leg. And moving back, because they didn't implement the soft plastic, he can only get his leg back that far. So going back, not that good, but kicking forward, excellent. Same thing for the right leg. He can go up that far. Going back, not so much. And what's causing this, and I want to show this a little bit better, is the way they cut in his backside here, pretty much his butt. The way the plastic sits here, it obstructs that range from coming back. You guys see a lot better there. Yep, it's obstructing it. So you can't really get too much range coming back. So there's a bit of a compromise. And I get why they did it too, because you want to have some clean looking, backside when you're making shots from this guy from the back. What I also like too, they've incorporated, just like they did the arms up here, there's really good cut of the upper thigh going into the hips. So you get a full 360 rotation of the leg. You guys can see here. Same thing for the right leg. Real nice rotation. And there's a bit of a ball swivel here too. So you get a little bit of range of motion with it. You guys can see just a little bit. Same thing for the left leg. Real good. So for these knees, These knees, as you guys can see, are double jointed. So you get some what seems to be some excellent range of motion in the knees, at least, because his calf goes all the way to the back of his thigh. You guys can see here. Same thing with the left leg, those double joints. Calf goes all the way to the back of his thigh. Really good range of motion with the knees. I'm liking the knee design here of these double joints because it's not only is it's functional, but it's the way it's implemented. It's really clean. It looks real nice. It looks real nice. All right, on to the feet. As you guys can see here, there is a joint. Only thing that looks ugly here is you can see the pretty much the metal joint peg that they use to pretty much combine the ankle to the foot. It looks a little ugly, but it could have been a little bit better than that. They could have just done it like maybe solid plastic or something, like we've seen in the past. But it looks a little bit better, or maybe painted. But this is the route they chose. But as you guys see here, his foot does come all the way down that far, goes up before it gets pretty much stopped by the top of the shoe. Same thing over here on his left leg. Foot comes all the way down that far and can go in that far. He does have a bit of a toe swivel going in and out. As you guys can see here, I can bend his ankle in just a tad. So you get a little bit more range. Let's say if you're trying to pose him in, I'm not sure why you would do this, but so you can pull his feet in. So there is that at least. Push him out. So you can get his feet at certain angles as whatever might be needed for your certain shots and stuff like that. See, toe swivel. It's there, but it's not the best. We've seen way better than this. Let me get this in the camera correctly. So we've seen way better than this on other figures. Now it's decent, but it could be much better. Like what's stopping this one is also the top of the foot here. When the toe goes in, it gets stopped right there by the cut. Same thing for the left foot, unfortunately. But still decent range of motion for what's here. Other than that, this is a really good figure, guys. Really good figure. Like the I'm liking the range of motion with this guy. This is really good. Like the thought that went into this figure, real good. Real good. Engineering, top notch for what this is. Especially for this being a general release. The price point that you get, real good. Real good. Alright guys. That's enough of that. Now we're moving on to the final part of the video. My final thoughts and pretty much conclusion. So let's wrap this up. Okay guys, so to wrap this video up, I just want to tell you guys pretty much what my final thoughts are on this guy is now that I have in my collection. So articulation, details, cost, especially with the amount of accessories that you get in the package, I would give this guy honestly a good solid 9 out of 10. Why is 9 out of 10? This is a good representation of Yusuke that we have so far in this grade of detail. The range of motion is excellent for the sculpt that they've put into this guy. The pants details is pretty much to me, this is a 1-for-1 of him from the Dark Tournament Saga. This honestly would have been a 10 out of 10. Of course, I know this is there'll be a complete different figure. This would have been a 10 out of 10 if they had just a little bit better. I would say if the way they did the freaking I can't even skip my words out now. If they would have done better with the crotch area instead of doing this hard plastic, like why would you do soft plastic on the butterfly joints and not do the soft plastic with his freaking crotch, knowing that the plastic, like the way you did the butt in the back, is going to obstruct the leg movement. Like that's so weird. I had to take a point away from that, but it was just a weird choice with the sculpting that was taken there, and I feel like that could have been implemented a lot better. And it's not like they couldn't have done that because we've seen it in other figures, especially this figure came out earlier this year, so it's like, well, actually not early, actually last year, late last year. So it's like, what the heck? Anyhow, accessories wise, there's a lot that came with this for the price. You get the first of all the beer gun effect that's already being shot off, and you get the charge effect. Oh, charge effect. And on top of that, and this is kind of a cuteness bonus, you get Pooh, little Pooh. And this guy, and they didn't have to do this. There could have been like a little piece of plastic they could have thrown. They really have to put this guy in here at all. But Pooh, for what he is, now he doesn't move. Again, he's a static figure, very detailed. The way he's painted on, there's no bleeding, no nothing. There's no, everything is lined up perfectly. There's even little paw prints at the bottom of his feet. Look at that in the camera properly. Look at there. So cute. And he didn't have to include that. And part of the, the little joke, you swap his head out real quick. And, oh, I don't want to break my neck peg here. Try to hurry this up real quick, so I'm going to spend too much time in this video. But, do it right, you can actually balance this guy on Yusuke's head. Get him in there. Whoops. He's going to stay. Anyhow, it's pretty cool. Let's see if I get him up there now. There he is. Look at there. Isn't that cool? Pretty cool. Great addition though. The face plates, the way they're implemented, are really clean, and represent Yusuke as he is as a character and his personality real well. So I say, just like my other videos, I'm very honest about this. If you're able to fit this guy in your collection and you're able to fit him in your budget as well, I say get him. He's worth the price. The amount of accessories that he comes with is really good. The articulation and sculpting with this guy is very phenomenal, like really good. There's some things that could have done better, like I said before, like the crotch area, but that's just that one thing. That's why I gave him a 9 out of 10. But again, great figure. I say get him if you can, if you manage to find him out in the wild, any stores, anything like that, because he is a general release. He's not a premium Bandai figure or anything like that, so he's not hitting behind like some crazy paywall, or you're not at the whim of secondhand sellers or anything like that, or scalpers. So anyhow, that's enough of that video, guys. If you've made it to the end of the video, I appreciate you watching all the way through. Just appreciate the support that you guys have been giving me. Appreciate it a lot. Notice I'm slowly growing. I'm trying to get better at this still. Trying to figure out. I have so many figures actually in my collection, and some I'm still getting in. Trying to figure out exactly how I want to go about showing you guys, because I don't want to bore you guys. That's why I'm kind of taking a break from the Dragon Ball line. I don't want to make this channel strictly Dragon Ball. I want to expand and do other Dragon Ball. I want to do other figure lines for you guys, like any characters, anything like that you guys think I should review. Let me know in the comments. I like that. Be sure to like the video. That helps with the algorithm again. Help get my video out there so other people can see it. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. Let me get words out there. But until then, guys, I'll see you then.